Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Indonesian Minister of Manpower. Let's put our hands together to Professor Yasir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everybody. Excellencies Ambassador from Bahrain and Oman, IFTDO, Chairman, President, Board Members, Advisory Council, all ladies and gentlemen, guests, all the distinguished speakers. First of all, thanks for inviting me here, and also for thanks for IFDO for selecting, considering Indonesia and Jakarta for the host, the first time after 51 years. I think that's yeah. Hopefully you will have good experience here, and then reconsidering Jakarta or Bali or even any provinces in Indonesia to be ready for the next and coming years. I would like to take this opportunity to share a little bit about my vision. I know that everybody is here, all are expert in training and development, and I don't want to discuss about this issue. I'd like to discuss issue about the organization and how my vision as the Ministry of Manpower, not Ministry of Manpower Planning, let me correct you, which is also every time I speak to my stakeholders, I keep saying that my dream sometimes in the future this ministry's name will change from Ministry of Manpower to Ministry of Human Development actually. But currently we are still facing issues related to manpower, regulation, law enforcement, and etc. And that's what we need to focus on all of our efforts. Again, my dream, my vision in terms of human development kind of affected after about 8 months. I was assigned as a minister, and after I am trying to looking at the more helicopter view, after about 20 years, I've been a professor in industrial engineering and management, doing research, doing consulting works, helping more than 50 companies in Indonesia in implementing what called as best practice in human development. And I think we need some things what we call as next practices, and hopefully my presentation will give you some insights, and hopefully that we can work on that, we can have discussion how this issue, how this insight can be more implemented, hopefully not only in Indonesia, but we can have a more collaboration effort in the future. I put it simple: shaping our future workforce, a people-centered transformation. So my PhD was in human factors area actually, and then what I've been seeing actually how this framework shifting from user-centered design and then becoming human-centered design, and now expert saying about the people-centered design. The issue starting from design at the level of individual, and then becoming more macro. So that's why there is a term what called as macro ergonomics. And in terms of organization, there is term what called as organizational ergonomics or ergonomics organization. Let me start next with some challenges. I believe that the first, digital tech and AI, something that everybody will be discussing in this conference. So I think that I can skip this one. But basically what we found actually, the increasing implementation of AI that can be replacing both manual and routine tasks. And the impact actually, hundreds million jobs could be disrupted, around about 50% of core skill will change in the next 5 years. And I think that everybody in this room agree that what we need is actually upskilling, reskilling with more effective way, with the more large-scale, systematic way, and etc. I'd like to put additional 3 challenges. Something that's the first one may be unique in Indonesia, but I'd like to share to you something that what I call as a missing puzzle that I've been looking so far when I've been implementing what called as best practice and trying to find some things related to next practices, something that's related to more the value of Indonesia. Let me skip this one, and then 2 other challenges. Informality increasing. Last week there was ILO meeting, ministerial in manpower meeting, and one issue that we discussed in that meeting related to increasing of informal jobs. Yes, we are now facing slowing down in economic, and that's impacting weakened demand for formal sectors. And based on what I've learned for other countries during the last 5 years, and could be possible the next 5 years, there will be significant increase in informal workers. And there will be issue related to what we call as social protection systems, and the opportunity for the people to looking for to get what we call as decent work. The number 4, search for meaning. That's what psychologists have mentioning us about younger generation looking for what called as values, identity, aspiration, looking for something what they call as meaningful work. And some research also report about the impact of motivation, meaningful work to productivity. And it's also becoming our challenge. And the second, industrial relation. That's what I'm doing now in Ministry of Manpower. We are trying to develop industrial relation framework, not only about the how to come up with the harmony in industrial relation, but beyond on the harmony is the transformational industrial relation. Currently, many labor-employer relationship still kind of fragmented. Outdated conflict, labor struggling about the wage, and the company just mentioning about the profit. And that's becoming what not only zero-sum game, but it's becoming what I call as negative-sum game. This happening in Indonesia, and I don't know in other countries, but it seems that if our characteristic of our workers still more focus on blue-collar workers, it seems that the issue is still relevant. Next. So that's why I've been trying to coping with the framework of what called as people-centric approach. It is a framework that places people with their capabilities, limitation, and aspiration at the center of every design. It's simple actually. But how to look at and how to implement this approach at the level of organization and at the level of policy making, something that's challenging. In terms of training and development, it seems like very, very straightforward. You know, learner-centered approach that has been applied for last 20 years, but people-centered in terms of organizational design, I think that's more, for me at least, it is more interesting. So, if what I believe that at the level of individual, if we can come up with a design that satisfy users, so the design of the product will be great, giving the experience. And the same thing, if we can come up with one organization that satisfy workers, and that should give more results. At the level of the nation, the same thing. If we can come up with the citizens' approach, so we assuming that the nation will develop well. That's the idea actually. So that's why PCA can ensure how transformation can be suitable, can be sustainable, can be empowering for all. Next, let's look at the picture, especially for Indonesia here. First, for Indonesia. Yeah, thank you. Something that's what we call as gotong royong. Gotong royong is meaning in English mutual effort, collaboration, community work, mutual cooperation, shared labor, something that within our DNA, something that our values that I have no idea why this value not presenting now at our organization. Is it due to what we call as professional, so that any time you work should be counted more than working hours that should be considered as what? Extra hour, but it didn't work actually before what we call as the gotong royong, or even like musyawarah mufakat. Musyawarah mufakat, something that's our value related to consensus-based decision making. Something that within our blood, inherent in our body, why those values are not presenting in our organization? That's the big questions. And that's something that what I call before that maybe this is something that missing puzzle that I was looking for. But again, hopefully all practitioner, expert academia in this room can help me out to prove this. Let's move on to the next slide. This is my framework actually. Task-centric, everybody knows as this is our past. Even though in Indonesia, in some companies, labor, blue collar labor, they are still struggling within an organization with the value of task-centric. But okay, I think that for other countries, most of other countries, this task-centric human resource, task efficiency, supervision, resource input production, task-based, physical routine contribution, something which is our past. And our present is more at the middle, organization-centric. We are talking about human capital. We are talking about training and development. We are talking about enhancing human capabilities. We are talking about the talent. We are talking about engagement. We are talking about the AI for enable HR tools, upskilling, career, and etc. But this is based on my research actually. Before I was assigned as minister, and then I skipped the research, and hopefully someone in this room can continue my research. Yeah. What I'm thinking now, something's beyond organization centric, which is purpose and people centric. Coming back to our all values, gotong royong, communities work. Coming back to our all values about musyawarah mufakat, consensus. We have same vision. Beyond something that vision just only inward looking with the target to be the first company with blah 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 etc. What do I mean by people and purpose centric? Human potential. Maybe this kind of thing that can help us dealing with AI, for example. Purpose-driven growth, something that our youth generation may be looking for. Maybe, I say that maybe. Something that we can boosting unique individual potential. Something that can be more effective in doing transformation for our organization. And about 3 or 4 years ago, I did some research. There is some, words. For example, agile, cross-functional, cross-functional team, meaningful work. That's something that I think at that time I was difficult to link with how this word can be used in terms of how we manage our workers. So this is the idea actually. And I put it integrating best practices with local wisdom. And I believe that some of us, not only in Indonesia, Eastern values, we have something that maybe if we can integrate it to the value of our organizations, so organization can grow, organization can develop, giving the same opportunity for everybody in the organization. There is no friction between workers and management. It's not only about the harmony, but we are talking about the both can collaborate toward shared visions. Next, Indonesia Specifically, we have more than that challenges. We are not only talking about the philosophy or approach. Yeah. What we are facing now, the first one related to we do have large workforce, but dominated by low skill and informal employment. I'm looking forward to hearing any constructive feedback, any suggestion from you actually, so we can have collaboration later on. Just to give you a picture, we have the total workforce more than 150 millions, informal employment about 60%, education profile about 87% of workers graduates from senior high school or less. And also data about youth unemployment, mismatching between labor supply and the needs from industry. The youth unemployment about 20%, and EET rate, which is high, mismatch from vocational school, and then also about the complaint from industries about lack of soft skill, digital literacy. Okay, and then I will know your suggestion is also about the upskilling, reskilling. Okay, we are looking for something that which is more effective, more in terms of quantity, scale, because Indonesia, big countries, complex. We are looking for training that, for example, 1 million people in a year as the target, etc. And we are still working on making collaboration effort across ministerial offices. It's not only related to Ministry of Manpower, but also Ministry of Basic Education, Ministry of Industry, etc. And also we are trying to do collaboration with the local governments. And our strategy for our workforce transformation, meaning that we are trying to implementing people-centered approach at the level of nation. The first one, strengthening human capital foundation, building workforce skills, inclusivity, readiness. We are doing transformation now in our vocational training centers. There are about 300 something vocational training centers in Indonesia, and we are trying to put more programs related to more emerging skills or future skills. Inclusive workforce policy, and the approach and the philosophy is the people-centered approach again, and national productivity movement. We assume that all effort should be put toward one direction, and the direction is productivity. And the second, reforming labor institution and dialogue, transforming industrial relation model. As I said before, we are developing framework with the 5-level maturity of industrial relation, and it seems that in average we are at the level of 3 or 5 now. 3 means the harmony, but we are looking forward to increase the maturity level in average from 3 increasing toward 5, which is transformational relationship. And engagement with labor unions, hundreds of labor unions in Indonesia, and we have regulation also. And for them, it is regulation that everybody can speak, can have union in their companies, and also regulation related to decent work. And last one, what we are trying to do now is implementing, utilizing AI for labor market information system. That's what we are trying to do, interpreting people-centered approach at a national level. And the last one is my last slide. What do my expectation in terms of people-centered approach at the level of organization? The first one, prepare for future skills. every time I'm invited to companies, to industries to give a speech, I keep saying about the growth mindset. Growth mindset, future mindset, and also innovation mindset. That's what we need now in Indonesia. Growth mindset, openness to learn, to adapt, and to evolve. Future literacy, about curiosity, resilience, and etc. And also we have campaign to industry to ask them at least to have what called as community of practices in terms of AI, in terms of what else, big data, and etc. And the second action that we do hope from industry, which is reskilling at scale and speed, as I said before. We are looking for massive training and development upskilling program. Not only about AI, but also in terms of green jobs. We are talking about the circular economy. We are talking about the green, etc. Green jobs, green economy, etc. Focus on effective large-scale reskilling program. Ensure inclusions. We also trying now to enforce industries to implement our regulation. At least 1 or 2% of their workers should be recruited from those with disabilities. And move beyond training and certification to employability and placement. And the last one, as my call for industry, actually industrial relation toward shared vision. So again, the current challenges, people mentioning about the VUCA, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, and the response should be from both management and workers. It's not only from management. How can we empower our workers? Around 80s, I've heard about the quality circle, for example, that has been implemented in Japan successfully, but it's gone now. Yeah. Again, it's kind of values of our Eastern nation that I think that we may need to looking at again, and then to implement them to our organization. Transition from compliance enforcement to partnership building, and last, enable collaborative social dialogue among unions, employers, and government. And I keep saying about let's build an ecosystem. Let's move from inward looking to outward looking. Not only looking at your organization, your company, but you look to align with national priorities. And now, the president and the government have policies about the focus of our growth, of economic growth, our development. And we need to look at, we need to align with them. And then I think that's one choice, one solution for the company, especially in Indonesia, to keep survive in the future. Thank you very much, and congratulations to IFDO. And again, I'm looking forward for any ideas emerging from this conference. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.